Hello everyone, I'm Jane Hanlon, the Mortgage Club Manager at AdviseWise, and welcome to today's Ask Jane. The question today has come from Anthony from Bridgewater. Which providers will allow an application to proceed in a single name if married? There's a number of reasons for this. Most commonly is second marriages, where somebody comes already with a property, or even third marriages, and in the recent climate we are seeing people getting divorced. Also because certain instances where you need to borrow more, if you've got a marriage where there's quite a big age gap, then obviously our loans are based on age of the youngest, and sometimes we just cannot reach the amount of borrowing required for the clients and they don't wish to move or downsize. Other instances where they've inherited houses or they've inherited money unsecured on other property. Second marriages are becoming more and more popular, partly because of the new pension rules, which means if you are married, on death, the pension passes to the spouse. So if you're not a spouse and you're partner to partner, you would not benefit from this. So more and more people are getting wise to that. We used to have several lenders that would look to offer a single name if a married person, but nowadays most see this married as a contract in law and therefore require it to be in joint names. That being joint names 50-50 or tenants in common, where you have a percentage anything from 50-50 to 99-1%, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Tenants in common is fine as long as you're both alive, and the reserve can then be accessed. Interestingly enough, Liverpool, Victoria do not allow tenants in common. But back to the question, single but married. We get a lot of them, and Canada Life are the lender that facilitates this. They do require separate legal advice for the spouse that's not party, and they do require a waiver of occupancy. At the club, we would normally recommend that the advisor suggest to the client to make interest payments to slow the roll up, because obviously the party not party to the mortgage is at risk. Possibly to take some life cover, and it is quite popular for some of the IFAs to recommend a whole of life single premium. Other lenders that used to offer it are One Family and Just. They have recently withdrawn from this market. Pure and More to Life, where the spouse is under 55, will consider an application of married in single names. The advisors find less resistance if the case can proceed in a single name, offering peace of mind, rather than suggesting that it go through in joint or tenants in common. Obviously, that would need legal advice. The choice to leave the asset in the will to the person of choice for the person owning the property is paramount. So less defence, and then most can benefit, but always refer to legal. Usually, if you insist on it going into joint or tenants in common, the case would not proceed, and therefore nobody would benefit. The advisor does need to cover the spouses not on the title, the effect it could have, basically homelessness. Preference to have both at the meeting when you're doing the meeting, obviously with the authority of the owner, and to record and document what will happen to that person in the event of death or long-term care of the owner and the spouse, whether they have another property, whether they go and live with family, or whether they go back home abroad, are the usual answers. So we do have options, but very limited in this market. So thankfully, Canada Life are helping us out there. I just wanted to mention, because we also get at the desk, we get the opposite, where we get someone that's separated, but hasn't got anything legal or any divorce papers, but the house is in sole name. So basically you want to remortgage where no legal separation on the asset has been decided. Kindly enough, Aviva will now consider this from April 2019. So you can proceed providing it's a remortgage only, the house is already in single name, and there's a separation, usually because the other party is nowhere to be found, perhaps emigrated, no contact, so things like that. So that's particularly useful, so they were grateful for Aviva for that. I hope you found this useful, and AdviseWise can help you with anything. Please feel free to contact us. We like your questions. Please feel free to submit them to advisewise.com on the Upskill page and press the button to enter, or simply just give me a call. We're here to help you. We thank you for your time, and we hope you're enjoying working with AdviseWise, our platform and our mortgage club. Thank you for your time.